Tonight, commuters to be banned from some buses as school children get priority. Good evening. When schools return in September and more commuters begin to head into the office, the morning rush hour, with social distancing still in place, was always going to be a pinch point. TfL published their initial plans today to prioritise students. The routes are being finalised, but on some of the busiest, every other bus will be only for pupils trying to get to school. It means commuters will sometimes have to wait longer for space on a bus. Our political correspondent Simon Harris reports. And for those who have now finished school, the fallout from the U-turn on A-levels continues. Queen Mary University London has now added 500 extra places to this year's intake to make sure students who met their offer can study there. The university. And there will, of course, be more on A-levels on the evening news at 6:30. And online, there is a Q&A, your questions, answers. That's at itv.com/London. Next, a Black Met police inspector is suing the force for racial harassment after two white officers stopped him while he was driving. Charles Ehoya was on his way home from work in South London in May when it happened. Katie Barnfield is here. A man found guilty last year of the manslaughter of his girlfriend at a music festival in Dorset has had his conviction overturned. Luella. Next tonight, a mother's campaign to raise awareness about drugs being openly sold on social media platforms, specifically used by younger people. Daniel's designed in a way that makes it harder for dealers to reach a large audience compared to other platforms. We encourage anyone who sees illegal content to use our in-app reporting tools to report it quickly and confidentially. Instagram, 5% of which we found before it was reported. We know there's more to do and we'll continue working with law enforcement and youth organisations. Next tonight, it is a scheme intended to reduce the amount of cars on the road and encourage us to walk and cycle. But low traffic neighbourhoods aren't popular with everyone. Councils have introduced more than 160 of these across the capital in the last few months. On the border between Bromley and Croydon in South London, the change has gone down particularly badly. 2,000 people have signed a petition against it, and Bromley Council are considering legal action. Martin Stew reports. Still to come. But first, there are two things a lot of us have been doing a lot more of during lockdown: watching telly and using Zoom. The video conference call has become a staple for many working from home or just keeping in touch with our friends. Well, all of that inspired a project by my next guests who combined the two to make a lockdown horror movie that's a hit. Next, it has space for 20,000 music fans, but the last few months there have been none inside the O2 Arena, so the venue has decided to welcome people back, just a few at a time, not for concerts, but for tours, backstage and in the arena to experience it as the stars do before the crowds arrive. Well, Rags Martel went for a look around. An update for you now on the little boy who you may remember was thrown from the balcony of the main headlines in London this evening. Commuters. OK, it looks like there is rain on the way. Here's Ashlyn with the forecast. Now, what length would you go to find a missing pet? Well, for a family from Wandsworth, the answer is any. Their 15-year-old rescue dog, Spillo, went missing while they were on holiday in West Sussex. They say they won't come home until he's found and have already spent thousands on the search. Helen Keenan has more. Well, fingers crossed for them. Before we go, the little girl with little choice but to be an Arsenal fan. They really did. And that's it. We're back with the latest after ITV News at 10. Up next, the ITV Evening News. But from me and the rest of the London team, bye-bye.